Hi, Tom. You're muted.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you with this guy. Let's see now. Am I getting an echo? Oh, probably might be me. Okay. Sam Chance is interesting. He's on the new person in the coordinating council, and he apparently was frustrated by our reports. Although I timed mine, I kept it to exactly 3 minutes, so I thought, that was pretty cool. But so it's interesting. A new person can get some momentum. He got several things accomplished, and one of them was the idea that that all the committee chairs do written reports so that we don't waste the time in the meeting. And God knows if that's going to work. But all my life, this report thing has been something I don't like to do. But now if I have to do it, I used to have to do reports, monthly reports, status reports, blah, blah, blah. But I just thought you might be interested. Oh, now you're muted.
Yeah, I like that, especially because now since our meeting is going to be remote even after we get together again, that will be written, how our agenda used to have to fit on one page, because that's what we were handing out at the meetings.
All right.
If we had written reports, it'd be real easy to follow those, and we could accomplish more, I think, at our monthly meetings, because we do only meet 12 times a year. So sometimes we have to skip things that are important, just to get through the reports from committee chairs and stuff like that. Because that's important too,
Right.
Hi, Jeff.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thought I'd join in. There's nothing else to do. It's snowing here. You guys get any snow?
No, but it's very gray looking.
Okay. We got about an inch of snow on the ground, but the wind is really whipping up, so it looks like a lot more.
It's 71 in Savannah, Jeff. I'm in Savannah.
Oh,
well, it was in the 50s here 2 days ago, so who knows what we're going to have. Maybe by another week or two. They always say, well, we're going to have a white Christmas, but a lot of times it doesn't seem to happen anymore.
Maybe the coming global superstorm. Who knows?
Well, if people start voting green, maybe we can do something about it.
Did you hear that, Mike McAllister? You're being recorded.
It's also live on YouTube right now.
Hi, Patty.
Hello.
Morning, Patty.
Good morning.
Good morning. I heard you don't have any snow by you yet, huh?
No, it's still just raining.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jeff.
Good morning, Patty. Now we're getting the snow up here in Fond du Lac, but it's not that deep yet. It's only about an inch or so.
Well, I think it's going to turn to snow this afternoon, right, Tom?
I don't know. I haven't checked the weather. I'm not on top of weather usually.
Well, I was hoping to get out for a walk, so I checked the hour by hour, and it's like it's not happening.
Yeah. I did all my pickups yesterday. My car is parked safely in the garage.
A lot of people on time this morning. Morning, Bill. Hi, Jennifer. Are you there, Mike? Morning, Barbara. How's work, Patty? Has the virus made things at a standstill or what?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's at a standstill in many, many places, but my work is to continue to try to generate income.
Mhm.
It's it doesn't slow down for it's a little better right now. Holidays.
Yeah.
It doesn't-
You do fundraising. I didn't realize that.
Well, yeah, I do activities to generate income, fundraising. You know, we're a professional membership organization, so membership issues and all of that as well. We have an online shop. We do sales that have inventory to manage, all of that.
End of year tax deductions. Does that make people? So is there a push at the end of the year to get donations?
Yeah, for sure. And of course, our members are all strapped right now, so we are hoping for a some kind of a stimulus package through again to help businesses survive the next 6 months. Jeez, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is really crazy. Yeah.
What would you like to see in the stimulus? Unemployment.
It's sounding kind of garbled, Jeff.
Small business.
I think your network connection is an issue.
Okay.
I wonder if you turned your video off.
Yeah,
That might turn your video off. That might help.
Also, you could call on your phone too, Jeff, if you really want to be able to say something, and we can't hear you.
Yeah. That any better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
It looks like Mike McAllister might be having a problem. I wonder if we should go ahead and begin. What does the group think? You have to unmute.
Let's go for it.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen for the agenda.
Oh, you were sharing your screen. You just, okay.
All right, at the top you see we are recording this meeting. We are recording this meeting, so hopefully that's okay with everybody. Oh, I see Mike's back. Can you hear us, Mike? Oh, he's connecting. Let's see. If you have new agenda items, send them to Mike, working writer at prodigy.net. Green Party News is actually a agenda item that we decided would be a marketing thing, if it's okay with everybody. So here you can tell like what you feel cool is happening around the world with the Greens, or in the United States with the Greens, or in Wisconsin with the Greens, whatever. So we just had this little news item. The German Greens are set to become the #2 party in Germany, on their way to becoming #1. Other Green parties with similar first past the post elections like ours have all managed to gain seats at their state or provincial levels and the national level as well. So anything else anybody wants to share? We have about, well, hopefully we can, hi Mike, you're muted.
Good morning. Sorry I'm late.
That's all right.
Morning.
Good morning.
We just did the Green Party news, and I asked if anybody else had anything they wanted to share, good news about the Green Party around the world or Wisconsin or Milwaukee, whatever. Okay, hearing none, we will move on then to the next item. Mike, do you want to take over?
I'm happy to, if you will.
Or an annual
Annual goals. We're about to change them, but our goals for 2020 were and remain double our membership through bottom-up grassroots organizing, organizing a coalition and campaign for a local pandemic Green New Deal, increase candidates. And now I got to go to my own copy.
No, that's okay. I can move it
up. Increased candidate number above the 2019 candidate recruitments, and at least 3 social events. We're doing really well on all of those things, except for 2, which we're finally getting a start on.
Greg Stack.
Greg.
I just wanted to say that we're going to do those evaluations next month for those goals. So just so people are aware, pass.
Okay.
And I'll keep the stack.
Thank you.
And the time.
Even better. Folks can read the short-term objectives. And let's see. Do we have any new people today? Hi, everyone. Guess not, but welcome in any case, and thanks for coming on such a lovely day. Let's see. So, co-chair report. You can basically read. It's I think close to or identical to last month's. Haven't done a whole lot, but all of those things continue. Secretary, we posted the minutes on Wednesday. Folks, is there a motion on the November minutes?
I'll make a proposal that we accept the minutes. Go ahead.
Is there any discussion? Any additions, corrections? Are there any blocking concerns? Any stand asides? Without objection, the minutes are approved. Treasurer's report. Did I see Barb on that list?
Yep.
Hey, Barb. Barbara, you're up. There you go.
Yes, I was looking for my unmute button. So in our savings, we have $670.32. In our small business checking, we have $352.57.
Thank you.
No new memberships.
Tom Stack.
Go ahead, Tom.
So are the minutes to approve on the Google Drive, and if so, where? There is a folder under co-chairs labeled minutes to approve.
That would be Patty's. Can you respond to that, Patty?
I have to go back, Tom. I'll go in and see where I put them. I know I put them in. Yeah, I have to go back and look at the names of the folders because I can't think right off the top of my head right now.
Okay, we were putting them under the co-chairs folder in a folder called minutes to approve.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll have to go in and see.
thanks. Pass.
Any further discussion on the treasurer's report? Do we have a proposal?
I'll propose that we accept the treasurer's report.
Any discussion? Any blocking concerns? Any stand asides? Barring none, we'll approve the treasurer's report. Membership.
Okay, so the state membership committee met on December 3rd, and topics of discussion were an increase in the statewide membership. I believe it was almost a 100% increase in membership over this period of October 1st through December 1st. 2020 over 2019. Our numbers are not huge, but we basically doubled the number of paid members from the previous year.
Jack, could I just say, Patty, that's really great.
Yeah, I think it's largely
Yay.
due to the success of the spring gathering on Zoom and all of the energy that brought to the state party and the inspiration and everything. There wasn't the same kind of response to the fall gathering, so hopefully spring will be positive again. But thanks, Greg. Yeah, I think it was really, like I said, the spring gathering.
Mm.
And so we'll be running a membership renewal campaign statewide starting in January. And I'm figuring that it would be that I will do a little membership renewal campaign for Greater Milwaukee sort of alongside of that. So starting in January, if everybody agrees with that.
Thank you, Patty.
Any objections to that? Okay.
More money? No, we don't want more money.
Time of year, anything like that?
When it comes to membership and fundraising, I always say better two than none at all.
Yeah.
Great. And then we discussed some updates to the statewide website, membership join page, and also the formation of new chapters statewide. And that's about it. Pass.
Could I just make a comment, Mike?
Of course.
So Charlene Moore, our educational component speaker, is going to be here a little bit after 11. And I just thought it might be nice because sometimes when people speak to our group, they think they're speaking to a very small group. They don't realize that who these people are, so I think if it's okay with you, I'll introduce who you are and your roles, or if you'd rather, you can introduce who you are and your roles, but sometimes people are reluctant to say just how powerful they are.
That's true. especially with the greens.
So you guys have a preference?
I think it would be nice coming from you, Greg.
Okay, thanks, Barbara. I'll do that if, so that's the proposal.
Any discussion on that? Any objection to that? Sounds good, Greg.
Thank you. Pass.
Anything else under membership? IT.
All right. So when IT kind of gets perturbed or got by the we're sort of in like a lame duck period in a sense at the state level with the fall gathering elections, and it just brings up a bunch of IT maintenance issues. I think basically with the social media or IT stuff, there's a lot of just routine stuff that's ongoing. So good news is that Tom Ward and I are meeting regularly now, several times a month, and I'm trying to get him to duplicate some of the work that I'm doing. But specifically, like I'm talking about just adding people in and out of groups, making sure the mailing lists are up to date, training people on Google Chat and video calls. The other thing that came up was calendars, like, well, when is this meeting? You know, so I'm hoping to draft some people to get more people involved in editing our calendars at the state and local level, so it's not just me. And otherwise, like this, for example, this morning I went through the YouTube editor for like probably the 6th time, and now I have some feeling maybe I've actually kind of gonna remember how to do it, but we'll see. The bill for hosting, I just paid that. Let's Encrypt, I've got to update the certificate coming up. I've been working on polishing the onboarding email that I have for new members. And that's right at 2 minutes. Pass.
Any discussion, recognizing that we're at time?
Patty Stack.
Go ahead, Patty.
Tom, could you repeat what you said about the payment? What did you pay?
Oh yeah, I paid for the WordPress bill, and yeah, I'm still thinking that I might be able to reduce that by transferring it over to one of my servers. But the bill is roughly $100 a year, and then I bill back to Barb, and that's been going forward. But if you don't pay it, then the website you won't be able to see. It won't be there. Pass.
That's the hosting fee, right?
Correct. Well, yeah. Let's see. Did they do anything? It's they might do email also for us, which we don't really use, and I don't recommend that. Okay, sorry, I'm getting off topic. Pass.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. Let's see, next, elections.
Good morning.
Morning, Barb.
Morning, Barbara.
So let me just pull up the elections report. We had our last meeting on December 1st, and Dave and Jeff and Tom were with me there. So I guess one note that I first want to mention is that the state is trying to get its committees really up and running again. We have a lot of new people who want to be on committees. And we also want to know if you're already on a committee, if you'd like to be on it again for the next year. So like Barb Eisenberg is often helping out with elections. If you want to continue on that committee, the state wants to hear from those people just to re-up those years, so we know who's actively on. So anyway, what we did in this committee is we talked about any post-election concerns with the fall gathering. We had a couple of problems with OPA vote because you're only really supposed to be able to vote in one district. And because we had just a single election, people could overvote. And so that was a little bit of an issue, but it didn't really skew the results anyway that where we were unsure about the results. The people who were elected were absolutely got over 50% of the vote. And so we welcomed all of our new elected officials into their positions in the coordinating council. We talked a little bit about the Wisconsin recount, but because none of us who were at the meeting have been involved in that, I just kind of put out the call to anybody who might have been involved to bring information back to us, because we want to make sure that we're keeping track of those efforts, especially in case of future recounts, how we can be actively involved in that. The biggest thing was organizing for our December 19th campaign school, which I think that people are probably going to talk about a little more later. But in case you want to get involved, Dave Schwab is really the person who's organizing that. So if you'd like to help out with the campaign school, definitely reach out to him. I'm sure that he would love a lot of help to organize, as well as if you have an area of interest to speak at the campaign school. I think we're still in the market for speakers as well. And we're also looking for 2021 and even 2022 prospective candidates. Right now, we're supposed to be petitioning for anybody who needs those petitions circulated. And that ends the first week of January. So we have Alex Brower as a candidate right here who absolutely needs help petitioning. So if you have the time to petition, he would love to have you. I don't know if I should just send an email around where to reach out to, or if people can just Google his campaign and reach out that way. And we talked a little bit about candidate recruitment in general, and sort of a general outreach plan. We have a ton of people in our nation builder list who were marked with want to run for office, tagged with these things about elections and running for office. And a lot of those people could use a phone call. So if people would like to help make some phone calls, we would love the help with that as well. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I have one, Greg Stack. So my preference, Barbara, if you have time, and I understand, you're doing a lot for the state and for us, so if you don't, that's fine, would be for you to put out a way to get in touch with Alex's campaign for people that want to petition.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I totally understand if you don't have time to do that, because that would go to the whole list, and not everybody's at this meeting. So
yeah, just in general, what's happening this weekend, this afternoon, they're doing tests. So I can send out the information about being able to text from your computer if you'd like to canvass by text this afternoon. Also, they plan to canvass in person tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that was just a text I got from him.
Thanks, Barbara. Gentle time reminder.
Barb Stack.
Go ahead, Barb.
I'm not real clear on the area that his the CT is going for covers.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty much like part of the east side and River West.
Oh, I must have looked at the wrong thing, because when I looked, it was somewhere west. Maybe I was. So it's a specific school board district. It's not a at large or anything like that.
Yeah, it's a specific district. And so because of the boundaries, they're really having to do most of their petitioning door to door just to get the specific households.
1 minute warning.
Okay.
Carrie,
Thank you.
The other, Greg Stack, the other thing there is annual dues. You can see everyone, January 1st, our annual dues are, and I wish I would have put that under membership, or Mike and I would have decided to put it under membership, because it's really a membership thing. And I wonder if there's some way we can share a form or whatever that can be printed. Can someone from membership share a form that can be printed that can go out this month to everyone, so that they can start getting their dues to Patty? I mean, to Barbara. And Barbara's address is on the agenda.
Patty said, Greg, Patty said she was going to send out mail.
Is that for Greater Milwaukee Green Party membership? Patty?
So that was what I was suggesting for January, but I can I can certainly send out an email in December with the membership form attached. And I do need to update the form just a little bit, revise it, because I realized the date isn't on it, you know, for the person to put in the date that they're joining or paying. But otherwise, it's not a problem. I can email it out to the membership.
Thank you. Pass.
Carrie Stack.
Who was that?
Carrie.
Oh, go ahead, Carrie.
Yeah, I had a question in chat regarding the internal election. When might the raw data from the election be released, and when might the report from the committee that tabulated those ballots be accessible to members?
That's a good question. I know that we had something that was put out on the website, and most of this is done through the IT committee, because I've just not been able to be as on top of everything as I really should be. So that actually might be a better question for Tom, because he has the OPA vote, or Mike McAllister, who helped out with this too. Pass.
Tom Stack.
Go ahead, Tom.
So it's not really a matter of anything technical or IT. It's a matter of, a decision. And I remember at the time that Barb, myself, and Dave, we had a meeting about the results, and we were both busy at the time and kind of delegated everything to Dave to make a statement about the election. And I think he did that, although I didn't review it in a lot of detail. So yeah, all those ballots are available, and I made a big effort to capture all the raw data, because it disappeared. If we don't grab the data from OPA they destroy it, I think, in like 2 months. They also provide some ways of sharing the data online for a limited period of time to the public. So yeah, so it's really a decision, I think, for the co-chairs and or the election committee as to what they're going to do is sharing the raw data. Pass.
I guess I can add to that. The question that it's hard for me to answer is where that data is right now. If it was put into a a Google Drive thing like the last election we did, because otherwise, like, we don't want the public to be able to just access all of our information however they want to. We want our membership to be able to access that. So it's a question of, we don't want to put it up on the general website where literally anybody in the whole world can do whatever they want. We want our membership to be able to access things. So it's got to be a partial key. So it's not completely held in secret, but it's not completely public. So that's really what we're trying to work out, is getting membership, you know, the keys, but not the entire general public pass.
We are at time on that one, Mike.
Let's see.
Overtime, actually.
Yeah. Is our guest here yet? Because I'm wondering if we should just pause.
She's going to come at 11:05, it looks like.
Okay.
So we have a couple minutes. You want to do outreach?
Yeah, let me do outreach quickly, because it's a short report. I had earlier this week I posted posted to Doodle, the meeting scheduling app, to schedule a meeting for either late December or early January. Gotten one response, thanks Tom. And I'm going to, if people are interested in participating in the outreach committee, which and or the campaign for a local Green New Deal, I'm going to post a link to that Doodle page, and feel free to share your schedule. Ideally, in the next few days, we can get a meeting scheduled.
Patty Stack.
Go ahead, Patty.
Sorry, Mike. I think this is the first I've heard of a Doodle page. I don't know anything about this, and therefore I think I didn't see your. Was it a Doodle survey?
I'm not sure how it how it got to other people. Tom, can you do you remember?
No, I just remember you sending an email, and I'd have to dig up the email, but
okay.
You know, I
anyway,
think go ahead.
Anyway, the link's in the chat right now, so anyone who wants to check in on that, like I say, basically I've got pretty much every available date outside of for the next couple of weeks prior to Christmas, and some dates in January. I think I also threw in some dates in between Christmas and New Year's. So that's in the chat right now, and if people could respond over the weekend, that would be great. And if you're otherwise interested and or are having trouble with Doodle, email me at
hold on just a minute.
And that's my email.
You see it?
I suspect our speaker is having trouble connecting.
Okay, see you in a minute. Yeah, you're right, Mike. That was Charlotte, and she was looking for the link, and she just found it at the top of your agenda that you put out. So she'll be with us in a minute. If it's okay with everybody, maybe we could do the volunteer job openings. Mike, I just highlighted there, moderate posts to Facebook, because you asked us to check back on that.
Yes. We when I originally proposed moderating posts to the Facebook group, I specifically said we would discuss it. We could rediscuss it at the December meeting and reauthorize if necessary. To be honest, this is the least favorite job I have. On one hand, I'm very, very inclined to just let it go and return to unmoderated. But I will leave that choice to the body.
Okay, and I'm going to just suggest, if it's okay with you, Mike, that we welcome Charlene. And can you hear us, Charlene? You're
I
muted.
can. Good morning.
Oh, hi. So I'm going to introduce everybody, if that's okay with you, Charlene.
Absolutely.
Okay, so up in this corner, we have Tom Rodman. He's our IT chairperson for the state and also for our local party. And Patty Ashby is our, she's our secretary here, but she's also the state membership chair of the Green Party in the state of Wisconsin, and also our membership chair locally. And Bill Bryan is our state treasurer. And Jennifer Kodrowski does door-to-door work with me and also works on our local Greater Milwaukee Green Party website. Check it out if you get a chance.
Absolutely.
And Mike McAllister. Mike McAllister is our co-chair for the Greater Milwaukee Green Party. And Barbara Eisenberg is our treasurer for our Greater Milwaukee Green Party. Jeff Reese is in Fond du Lac and joins us as he tries to begin a chapter for the Greens in Fond du Lac. Barbara Dahlgren is our former state co-chair, just ended her term, and she's our state our state election committee chair, and also our local election committee chair. Bruss is a new member to Greater Milwaukee Green Party, but she is very active in our local meetings and also working on women's issues. I don't think I missed anybody. And Charlene, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you all so much. Just want to thank Greg for just reaching out and for this opportunity to just present a little bit about our work with Urban Underground and now recently Youth Justice Milwaukee. Name is Charlene Moore, and I started Urban Underground about 20 years ago. This makes our 20th year in existence, and we've been able to focus on a lot on leadership development of young people, and our focus has been on activism. Our young people have worked on campaigns related to health, education, criminal justice, and public safety. And so over the years, our young people, which are now young adults that are doing some really, really incredible work. Our current executive director is an alum. David Crawley is an alum of Urban Underground. Kaylin Haywood is the youngest assembly person in the country. He was a former member and alum of Urban Underground. And we have, individuals like David Bowen, who is state rep. He's also my brother, but he's an alum of the organization as well. And many individuals. We have Jeff Kennedy that does media. I always can't forget the non-electeds. It just so happened that quite a few of our members have gone into office, but we have so many young adults across the city, across the state, across the country that are just doing some incredible work. And we're so proud and honored to have had a stake in their life. In addition, we started Youth Justice Milwaukee a little over 3 years ago, and it was really designed as a way to look at the current crisis that was going on at our youth prison. And so we formulated the coalition to essentially close down the youth prisons that we have here in Wisconsin and provide more alternatives and, use data and best practices to do some things better for young people. So today I just wanted to share a brief presentation that, talks about our Youth Justice Milwaukee work.
Thank you, Sherilyn. Glad to have you aboard.
You.
Go right ahead.
Do I have screen sharing capability?
You should.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I have a quick presentation that just because of time, I'm going to somewhat breeze through just so that you all get somewhat of a synopsis of what it is that we do. Give me a second. All right. I'm getting a little bit better with the platform of this technology. So I always, use an opening, I always use quotes or pictures, whatnot, to really tell stories. And I always start with this quote by Frederick Douglass: "It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men." And I have, because I really love for videos to, also share some of our work. So this is probably about 6 minutes. It's not very long, but I'm going to share a short video and then go about 10 minutes for the presentation and then have some time if there's questions. Let's see if this works.
Did you set the sound?
At this time, I'm probably like 15.
And we can hear it.
That occurred that caused me to get locked up. I've never been locked up before in my life. I ended up being convicted and sentenced to 48 years. I felt like right then I had to be a man.
I was at my desk and it shook me up so bad that it brought me to tears because I couldn't do anything. I felt so helpless, and I'm sorry.
We are not fostering growth. We are not fostering maturity. We are not fostering a young person's ability to independently think. We're stripping them of all of those things.
The thing is with prisons is that they are not rehabilitation centers, so you don't go to prison to learn how to be a better person. You learn those values and morals at home. You learn those values and morals from your community. Prisons aren't set up to do that.
Prison re-traumatizes by the very nature of these young people going into these confined spaces, solitary spaces. We are expecting these things to rehabilitate a child who has found themselves in trouble in some way.
If you're looking at it in terms of making our communities safer, in terms of using state dollars in responsible, effective ways, in terms of helping kids go from people who are making poor decisions to people who are making positive decisions and being contributors to the community, then prison isn't working at all.
It made me mad that I can see everybody with my brother, and that's really the only person I really wanted to see. And I remember crying, and I cried, and I cried. Like, damn, I'm in a box.
We like to say in Connecticut, you could give a kid a house and a 4-year scholarship to Yale and still not spend $319,000 for 4 years, let alone one.
It just doesn't add up. We're wasting money to lock up kids.
We're just feeding kids right into the adult criminal justice system. And obviously, Latino and Black youth are the most that are represented within that system.
Research shows that children are different developmentally, socially, in almost every way. And so by treating children as they are, as they should be, in the community with their families, with wraparound intensive services, we're making sure that they have the opportunity to mature into the best adults they can be.
No youth should be in prison because they are kids, period. Like, would you put your kid in a cage and leave them there for years?
Youth justice is treating our children like children, giving our young people what it is that they need to be successful, to look at life as hopeful, to look at fulfilling their God-given talents to make an impact on this world.
I reimagine a world where a child can be a child. And I think when we look to what the future of youth justice could be and should be, it would be a system that actually is trying to undo structural and embedded inequalities and lack of opportunities.
There needs to be real investment in infrastructure, real economic development, real employment opportunities, real educational opportunities for youth of color to be able to really address the issue.
So the long-term goal would be to close all youth prisons in our state.
Primarily, really advocate for the closing of the 3 youth prisons in the state of Wisconsin.
The announcement that the Larned Juvenile Correctional Facility is being closed is huge for the state of Kansas because it's an affirmation of all of the advocacy work that has been going on in our state of Kansas for the past few years.
To have Larned be able to close down, is really awesome news and exciting news, and really gives hope that we can do this. Next is Kansas Juvenile Justice Complex. So just hoping that we can get that facility closed also.
About a year and a half ago, our governor called for the closure of our training school.
It happened, right? We got Beaumont closed, and it was like mind-blowing.
We can win this fight. It's not an issue of no longer just being at the table, but we can be at the table and also get something from it.
We have to push folks in power that have these decision-making abilities. We have to push them to change.
Every young person within them has the abilities and the capabilities to do great things. That's right. I'm saying that greatness is in every youth. And all we need to do is empower them to tap into that greatness and to become who it is they can be.
Okay. As I get back.
Thanks, Charlene. That was great.
Oh, wait, everybody's still there. Okay, good. Where did everybody go? Okay, I'm gonna go back to the slides really quick, and you all can, use a chat feature, was there, or just, it's a small group of us. Was there anything that stood out, for you all as you saw the video?
I didn't even
stood out?
Yeah, and with
My
the way
screen
we do it is we use a stack, Charlene. So I see Bill is on the stack, and I think maybe Jennifer is on the stack. Is that right, Jennifer?
I was not on the stack. I was clapping.
Oh, you're not on the Oh, all right.
Tom Stack.
Go ahead, Tom.
Don't say it again.
Sorry, I just muted right when you said go ahead. Yeah, I just thought it's very powerful to take me inside the prison and just show me those scenes that made it very real. That's my main thing. Pass.
Thank you.
Greg Stack. So, Charlene, it sounds like what we can do is, get information from you about what we can do personally, right?
Yes, and I just wanted some reactions. I'm going to go through a few more slides just to give some background information on the work. And again, a lot of this is just, we try as much as possible. Education is the key when we talk about when we talk about what it is that our community needs and needs to know. So I always try to just provide as much information as possible, but I'm just going to breeze through, a couple things, a couple theories. One of the reasons why we do this work is because there's some huge racial ethnic disparities within our youth justice system. It's the same way that, lies in whether you talk about education, whether you talk about healthcare, housing, there are disparities in all of those areas. And so it's important that folks understand that even though, Wisconsin in and of itself, when we look at the population of Black youth, and this data set is probably a little bit old. It's probably just slightly a little bit more as far as the percentage points, but we kind of overall get the gist of it. Even though there's a smaller population of youth of color that comprise in our state, the majority of the young people that are going into our prison system are Black and brown youth, particularly Black youth. And we can point to a few different areas as to, well, what are the factors for this sort of overrepresentation? And, we look at racial bias, we look at, punitive juvenile laws, lack of alternatives, where jurisdictions are located, and law enforcement, to say these are some of the perpetuating things that are leading to young people of color being funneled into our youth justice system. When we look at also the rate, Black youth in Wisconsin are 15 times more likely than their white counterpart to be incarcerated. Again, looking at those disparities. And we use data to say this is why this doesn't work. It's not that, ultimately, innately, it's a bad thing, but we look at the data and say, look, this is ineffective. Prison systems do not work for young people. They don't necessarily work for anybody, but particularly when we think about children, they do not work well for children. And when we look at, again, comparing the population, this is a grid of just, Black youth. You look at the population, you look at the amount of young people that go into that sort of intake process. So if they get, in trouble, whether it's by law enforcement, that's called to a school or in their neighborhoods, you look at that intake process, and then you look at the amount of young people that, again, get sentenced to prison terms. And one of the data sets that we always love to use is the cost. And this is currently right now for Wisconsin, it's closer to $200,000 per year because the numbers are continuously declining. It's at a rate that on average, the state average is roughly probably about $13,000, $14,000. No, I think it's about $13,000 to educate a young person in the state of Wisconsin, but to imprison them, again, we're looking at upwards of $200,000 a year per young person to incarcerate a child. I know this is a lot of words on this page, but some fundamental things that we wanted to just really, really share are just the cost. Currently, right now, it's about our legislation of Act 185 was supposed to do about 4 different things. Number one, it was supposed to close down Lincoln Hills and Copper Lake by July of 2021. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Milwaukee put in a proposal, Dane, Racine, and Brown County putting a proposal totaling of about $110 million. The state wanted to also build what are called type 1 facilities. However, we advocated that they don't. And so they put additional dollars back where that made up the $110 million. They put additional dollars into that. So they wanted to build a facility for what is called SJOs. And that's a distinction that Wisconsin is only one of 4 states left that has that sort of distinction. And it's this special distinction that if a young person commits a particular crime, it puts them in the status that now the state is over them. And so when they turn 18, they get sent off to the adult prison system. And then the last point here is Mendota, our youth justice our youth treatment center for young people that are incarcerated. They want to expand that by about 64 beds. And, overall, when we're looking at these numbers, we're looking at some astronomical figures of almost $170 million just to build This is not programs. This is not services for families and young people. None of those dollars that we're seeing right now goes toward any sort of program. It is specifically bricks and mortar. And go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
I forgot to tell you the way we do our time thing, but we do a gentle time reminder.
Yes.
So we have about 5 minutes.
Got it. Thank you so much. Yep. And so real briefly, you know, we look at one of the reasons, if we're able to provide young people with the things that they need, if we're able to, you know, when we look at Maslow's hierarchy of need, if we look at the things that they need and put resources into those opportunities, we're able to provide young people with the things that will support their growth and development. So some of our really quick recommendations are investing in young people and not facilities for young people. We want to reduce the cause of, we want to invest in reducing the causes of youth incarceration. And that means also investing in positive youth development services in schools and youth settings, after school programs, things that young people need support around, even youth jobs, summer youth jobs. Right now, we're fighting for resources to be put into summer youth job. Strategies that build better policies and practices based on lived experiences. We need those individuals that have those experiences to be at the table to say, you know what, this is what we need to do instead. I've been there, you know, I have experience in the system. That is so critical and so important. And invest in better mental health options for young people. We know that's a critical status right now, where we need more mental health services for young people. At one point, Wisconsin was sending young people out of state because we didn't have the mental health services and supports here. That has to change, and we have to fundamentally, you know, change that practice. And we always say, you know, diversion programs, we have to invest on the front end. That is before a young person gets into trouble, right? What are the things that we can do to invest in their lives? And lastly, you know, I always tell the story really briefly about Ariane, who was a young person in our program. He was an amazing young kid, but Ariane had a lot of mental health issues and he had a very tough childhood. He was adopted when he was a baby, and as he got older, a lot of his mental health started to just come out. And he had a adopted father that just didn't have the tools and wasn't even equipped to take care of a child that had severe mental health needs. And Ariane made a mistake, and it ended him in serving time, you know, in prison. And, you know, he didn't need prison. He needed a family. He needed support services. He needed wraparound care. He needed mental health treatment. A lot of the things that a lot of these young people that are in these facilities, and adults now that are in these facilities, are in great need of. So my ending quote is, for these are all our children. We will all profit by or pay for what they become. And so thank you all so much. We can use this opportunity. I will stop sharing my screen so we can all see each other.
Okay, and just a gentle time reminder, we have 2 minutes for questions for Charlene. Is that what you were going to ask for, Charlene?
Yes.
Okay, and I want to go back to my question first. What can we do as individuals or as the Greater Milwaukee Green Party?
Absolutely.
And then we have Patty on the stack.
Yep. And I'll say really quick, Greg, you know, everyone has, I always tell people we all have some sort of responsibility. And so whatever your gifts are, or you have time to put forward, a big part of, you know, the need is really educating our elected officials. They're the ones that are making decisions and changing things, you know, whether we like them or not. So it's up to us to make sure that we are reaching out to the folks that represent us to share with them about these issues, and connect with groups that are working on these issues to support in the fight, to say, what is it that we can do to support, whether it's writing, whether it's attending events, whether it's educating yourself. So, you know, educating ourselves and each other, but also reaching out to elected officials when particular bills or policies come up to, you know, push for it or push against it.
Okay, thanks. And then we have Patty on the stack. I just want to say, Charlene, I have some questions for you that I'm not going to be able to ask right now because of time.
Absolutely.
So I'm just going to be reaching out to you personally about that. Is that okay?
Absolutely. And I'll put my email and phone in the chat that if anyone wants to reach out, you're more than welcome to. Go ahead. Pat.
And I don't have a question any longer. Charlene addressed what I was going to ask about. So
Okay.
You're welcome.
We are
Tom
trying
Stack.
to get time, but okay. Can you keep it brief, Tom, please?
Yeah, any comments
ahead,
on like the local issue of the Milwaukee secure detention facility just off the freeway? And I've lost track of that issue, but I know that they've been trying to shut it down. Pass.
That is correct, Tom. It has not unfortunately moved. Folks, and I don't know who has been keeping track or has participated in the governor's town hall, his biannual town hall listening sessions. He had one this past Tuesday. A few weeks prior, he had one on mental health. The one this past Tuesday was centered around criminal justice, and the one this coming Tuesday is centered around education. So there's some powers that our governor has to do particular things. And unfortunately, he's not activating those powers that he has. And so MSDF is still open. They're really pushing for that facility to close. And, you know, we're in line with some of the folks from Expo that are in that working to get that facility shut down. It's horrific.
Right. Thanks, Charlene, so much for being with us today. Appreciate you coming. And please reach out to Charlene. She's been very helpful to me through this whole process of finding a speaker and just been really flexible with, you know, getting back to me and making it really easy for me to communicate with her. So really appreciate you coming today. Feel free to stay for the rest of our meeting if you want to. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'll just answer a few questions that was put in the chat. Thank you, Barbara. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you all.
Thank you, Charlene. This was great. I'll probably be in touch too.
Thank you.
We can move on, Mike. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll put the agenda up if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. So where we left off, let's see. Oh, we were talking about the Facebook group.
Right.
I'm open to discussion on that point.
Greg Stack, I just want to say, you know, if we're going to help Mike as our Greater Milwaukee Green Party spokesperson, I just want us all to hear that this is the job he'd really like to get rid of. Pass.
Any further discussion? We would look for another volunteer.
I guess I could just suggest that, you know, can you hear me?
Yes.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yes.
I just wanted to suggest that in the past, for a long time, Monty moderated our state email list, and he's not at the meeting, and I'm not volunteering him, but you know, he might be willing to do that. I can ask him if you want.
Sure, I can reach out to as well.
Okay.
But
all right.
But if you want to be more persuasive, I'm okay with that.
I can do it for you if you want. That's fine.
Carrie Stack.
Go ahead, Carrie.
I just would like, I'm not volunteering to moderate because I don't want to do that either. But I would suggest that you keep the contact information for admins and moderators up to date. It's currently not. And when I had an issue, it took me 10 days to get a response from someone. And I don't think that's, I think that could be done better.
Thanks, Carrie.
You're welcome.
We're at time on that one, Mike.
Okay. So where we.
We're at team building, I think. And or do you want to go back to election for Greater Milwaukee Green Party rep?
Barbara, should we have the election for the GMGP rep on the coordinating council today, or should we wait until, should we include that with the rest of the elections in January?
Well, that's really up to this group. The sooner that you have representation on the coordinating council, obviously the better. But it's really up to this group, and if there's somebody who's willing to step up today for the next meeting. There's one thing I should probably mention, that usually we have a big coordinating council meeting when we have our big in-person gathering. And because we didn't do that, since it was all online, the coordinating council has been talking about opening up a larger session for the whole membership to kind of get involved in planning and strategizing. So to have somebody on for that would be really good. Pass. That would be like January, February.
Okay. Greg Stack.
Greg?
Could I just ask that we move this along quickly? So if anybody, maybe we could call for a proposal. I'll make a proposal that we do it today, listening to Barbara's advice that we have someone on the council for this event that she's talking about that sounds important. And then we could maybe have discussion of that and call the question. Pass.
Actually, I would suggest, since it's already on the agenda and we have allocated time to it, I'm willing to open nominations for this position.
Greg Stack. I just want to say we already have some people, I think, that are on the coordinating council, but maybe someone could just tell us who's on the coordinating council, and that might help. Pass.
Who?
So I'm on the coordinating council.
I'm on the coordinating council.
I'm also on the coordinating council.
Me too.
Who was the last person?
Bill.
Bill.
Oh, Bill.
So we're overrepresented.
Well, my question is, and the reason I wanted to hear that who is on the council is, do any of you want to be our Greater Milwaukee Green Party rep, or are you all our reps just because you're there and you come to our meetings? Do we even need to elect somebody? Pass.
Barbara Stack.
Go ahead, Barbara.
We should absolutely have a representative. Just because we have a lot of people from Milwaukee on the council doesn't mean that we shouldn't have somebody specifically representing Greater Milwaukee Green Party. And thanks. Yeah, pass.
Thank you, Barbara. That's the information I needed. So I guess, is anybody that's already on the council willing to be our Greater Milwaukee Green Party rep?
We can't do that. It's you cannot have two votes.
Okay, thanks, Barbara. So we would need a new person.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I see in the chat where Bill has nominated Barbara Eisenberg and Jennifer Kodrowski. We only get one seat, Bill, just so you know. The nominations are on the floor. Jennifer, do you accept nomination?
Need to unmute.
Greg Stack. Could we just tell the person what they would have to do? I'm assuming they would have to attend the coordinating council meetings. But can someone tell them what they would have to do to be that person? Pass.
Yeah, I can go through responsibilities. One thing is that there are about 12 meetings per year, once per month. Right now they're on Wednesday nights. That could change, but I expect it's probably going to be in the evening because that's when most people are available usually. And besides that, it's kind of keeping track of the email list in case there are issues that come through by email. And you have to serve on at least one statewide committee. So that's like elections, membership, communications, any one of those. Pass.
You want to call the
Barbara?
nominations?
Are there any other nominations for GMGP rep to the CC?
I would nominate Mike McAllister.
Are there further nominations? I will respectfully decline. I'm overscheduled already, and I really do want to devote what resources I have to the Green New Deal campaign.
Until time reminder.
Yeah, I could decline too because I can't do nighttime meetings in the weeks. So.
That's what I thought. Yeah. You can't do evenings, right, Jennifer?
Mm-hmm.
That's too bad.
That is too bad.
I can't do anything. I can't even go do a committee meeting.
Barbara?
I don't feel that I could commit that time. I'm sorry.
Well,
we're out of time for this one.
Yeah, I'm going to suggest that we defer the election for now. Perhaps in the intervening month we can find somebody. Did Monty get elected too?
Monty was supposed to be our rep last year, but he did not really attend meetings or anything. Pass.
But did he get elected at large? I seem to recall he was on the ballot for something.
I think he's an alternate or something like that.
Oh, I know he's on the NC, yeah, with me.
Yeah, but not on the coordinating council.
Okay. Well, I propose that we defer since we don't have a candidate right now. People should think about being those of us who are not on the committee currently should think about being on the committee, and we take this up again with the regular elections in January.
Carrie Stack.
Go ahead, Carrie.
Go ahead.
I could probably make Wednesday meetings if I could submit my name for nomination if that's something you want to consider.
Patty Stack.
Go ahead, Patty.
Carrie, I think, and the others who are on the coordinating council can correct me, but I think the meetings were moved to Tuesdays at 7, haven't they been?
Yes.
So just FYI, Carrie, Tuesdays at 7, they've just been moved.
I can make Tuesdays at 7. But what would be, you said I would have to be on another committee as well, serve on another committee that's a statewide committee? are there any, I know I'm fairly new to the Green Party, so I'm wondering if any of those other areas, the elections, membership, or communications committee require any type of expertise in those areas.
Patty Stack.
Go ahead, Patty.
No, just your willingness to, for membership committee, just your willingness to, you know, be at the meetings and attend the meetings. And then basically there's a lot of work help just with recruiting members and the data and the Nation Builder database. And that doesn't require any expertise. We'll happily train you. Pass.
We are over time by quite a bit on this. If we could call the question.
The proposal is to postpone till January. Carrie has self-nominated, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think we should have the election in January, however.
Okay.
So that's my proposal.
Thanks for stepping up, Carrie.
Yeah, thank you, Carrie. So can we move on, Mike?
Is there blocking concerns or to having the election in January? Seeing none, we'll do that. Next up, let's see.
On team skills.
Yes, let's move to team skills.
Okay, so last time we came up with a Greater Milwaukee vision brainstorming session, and this is what I wrote for the, you can see on the agenda there what I wrote for the, and I'm gonna just make it bigger. So this is the proposal. My only concern is about the ending part. We are leaders to help disenfranchised voters, and we represent the majority's actual choices for their governance. Do we really represent the majority's actual choice for their governance? I was wondering about that part, but this is just a proposal, but I'm hoping we can adopt it and move on from vision to the rest of the things we need to cover as far as making effective change.
Greg, I should note that you're not sharing.
Oh, thanks, Mike. I forgot. With Charlene was sharing, and I'm not sharing anymore. Okay, here we go. Was I even sharing the agenda then? Not, I wasn't, right?
You weren't. Fortunately,
Okay.
I grabbed on mine, so.
So here's the actual vision statement.
There we go.
So we are a source for leadership and effective organization in the community. For pillars, peace, we are the group to join for local activists. Ecology, we lead the fight for climate justice, social justice. We have answers on economic issues and democracy. We are leaders to help disenfranchised voters, and we represent the majority's actual choices for their governance. That was the part that I was wondering if we really are the majority, if we really represent the majority's actual choices for governance. Discussion? We have
Tom Stack.
Go ahead, Tom. We have 2 minutes.
It looks like a Lisp artificial intelligence program with all those parentheses. I think you might want to clean that. You got some square brackets that are balanced properly. So yeah, I mean, I'm just distracted by text. So
I think we can probably convert some of this to bullet points. So
sounds good.
Right. Thanks, Mike. Good suggestion. Go ahead, Barbara.
I really like this statement. I think that we do really represent the vast majority of people's views and what they want. That the vast majority of people are working people and working class, and that we represent those interests, and also that we represent interests that are really in the public good in general. So those things include justice for everybody, that we have clean water and clean air, the really basic things of life. So I think that's perfectly appropriate to say that we represent the majority's actual choices. Pass.
Thanks, Barbara. And I'm going to suggest, because we are out of time on this, that we finish it off next month for our team building, team skills thing. That's a proposal. Pass.
Discussion on the proposal.
Barb Stack.
Barb.
Good.
I'm just want to voice that at this time, seeing it for the first time, I don't feel good about that last statement about being the majority of the actual choices. I would be more comfortable with something about representing the unrepresented, or something like that.
Okay, so you're okay with us taking it up again next time?
Yeah.
Thanks. Nobody else on the stack that I know of, Mike?
Any objection to moving to a vote? Are there any blocking concerns to move to having further discussion on this next month? Is there any folks who want to stand aside? We will revisit this next month. I think this will be a nice conclusion.
I'll put up the agenda again. So we are up to announcements.
And again, people should we do post things on Facebook and on the mailing list when possible, and we have the energy to do so. Please, since we don't have anything specific on this calendar, December is usually a slow month for stuff. Do we still have the? We lost the Black Lives Matter.
That's under our coalition updates.
Oh, okay.
And I just wanted to say too, I need to apologize for not posting our meeting this month. I completely forgot to do it, and Monty posted our meeting as a pinned item on our Facebook page. So thank you so much, Monty. I want that to be in the recording. Sorry, guys.
Yes, wonderful. Let us move on to coalition updates. Folks can review those. Are there any questions or additions there?
There's
Tom Stack.
There's some, let's see. So the Wisconsin Safe Technology thing, we are currently, let's see, where is that on here? So we're asked to support the expansion of fiber optic broadband networks instead of 5G, because a lot of times people, when we take stuff away from them, they're not going to be happy with that, especially 5G. You know, people are like, oh, my cell phone. Ah. So, you know, we're not asking people to give up their cell phones. We just want to support the expansion of fiber optic broadband networks instead. So please keep that available so you can speak to that. And then, let's see. I'm going to be personally letting go of a lot of my coalition work because over this winter, the need is going to be really desperate with people being evicted and homeless shelters. One of my friends got evicted this summer, and he was on the streets in Milwaukee for 18 days. He could not get into a homeless shelter because they were closed because of the virus, and he could not get fed. Well, other people could not get fed, not him, because of, I saw on the news, the soup kitchens were closing down too because of the virus. And he was telling me that people couldn't even find a place to go to the bathroom. So we're going to be pretty desperate, some pretty desperate folks this winter in Milwaukee. So I'm going to try to work on that instead of our other coalitions that I have been working on. So just to be upfront about that. And Tom's on the stack. And Patty.
Oh, yeah, two things. Well, I was trying to get at the end of those announcements and maybe because it seemed like this fit in there. I'm trying to promote our Discord server for the state of Wisconsin. It's basically dormant, but if we can get enough people to join, that would be great. So I put a link in the chat. And then another announcement is that at the Unitarian Church, if you look in the chat, there's a local activist that's going to have a great Zoom forum on Julian Assange. And I will try to put another link related to that in a minute. That's in January. Pass.
Thanks, Tom. Patty?
Two questions. So Tom, promote Discord server. What is that for the minutes?
It's a discussion location, like chat, like I should shut up.
Oh yeah, it's a community organizing environment that grew up out of the gaming culture, and it's proprietary. It's not perfect, but and it's a competitor to Slack, if you've heard of Slack or IRC. Pass.
And then, so do these, the Unitarian Church, do these go in announcements or in coalition updates? Because it's not a coalition, right?
Yeah,
it's the issue.
Yeah, let's toss it in announcements.
And then my last question is, Greg, you were talking about the homelessness work. Is that with a particular coalition that we have here, or is that another one that you're associated with?
I'm just mentioning that, Patty, because I won't be working with our coalition partners like Wisconsin for Safe Technologies and Normal, and those are the two. Well, it would be part of like Milwaukee Community Care and Mutual Aid, but I'm going to connect up through that particular coalition.
All right, thank you. Pass.
And we are at time on this one. Is anyone else on the stack?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I'm not sure where my comment what category it would be under. I was wanted to maybe put for next time a discussion of joining this Halt the Harm network.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That I just heard about. Could we put that on for next month?
Sure. What's it called?
Halt the Harm network.
Help the Harm?
Halt, H-A-L-T.
Help the Halt.
Halt the Harm. Yeah, I haven't been able to really look at it much, but I think it's an alternative to Facebook for people that are trying to get away from them and use other social media to connect.
Thanks, Barbara.
Yeah, Barb, I did sign up last night, and they said I was going to get an email, which I don't think I've gotten yet. So, but I'm looking forward.
Great.
I'm looking forward to trying that out.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, and we are past time on this, Mike. We're a little bit behind.
Okay. So next up. Elections piece. Sam isn't here today, but he wanted an agenda point. He talked last month about running for Milwaukee School Board in Bayview in 2023. Yeah.
I did talk to Sam this week, and you know, he really did want this to be on the agenda, so I'm just going to suggest that we keep it on the agenda for next time, if that's okay with everybody. Pass.
That works for me. Any objection to having that discussion later on? Barbara, have you talked to him about the process yet? Has he asked you?
Yeah, I have talked to him. I forget whether or not I sent him a copy of the questionnaire, so I can make sure to do that again if I haven't already. Pass.
Appreciate that. Yeah, because you know a lot of this is committee stuff anyway. But I really hope that we continue to encourage him and get started early. Well, by gosh.
We're not used to that, Mike, are we?
We are not. So without objection, we will defer on that point. We've talked about Halt the Harm, the outreach actions. This is where the Black Lives Matter list exists. Please refer to that as your authoritative source for Black Lives Matter activities and actions from week to week. There's yet another issue in Wauwatosa this week, the other night. If people did not hear about that, and then this firefighter who walked into a bar and shot somebody last weekend. So stuff is unfortunately continuing to happen. So we put an item on the agenda to start the long-term annual goals discussion. We want to have, we want to make our decisions next month, but we are open to, let's start thinking of, let's spend 10 minutes thinking about what we should do next year.
Greg Stack.
Greg.
So the more I learn about this voter suppression through the American Civil Liberties Union 2020 report on voter suppression, the more I feel like that's another area I want to spend time on, because if we don't have democracy, if we can't vote, which is being more and more, like, people are really afraid what's going to happen in the next four-year cycle or the next 2-year cycle of voting. So I really feel, as a political party, I'd like one of our goals to be having a voter suppression remediation group, and I'm willing to lead on that. Pass.
Any other ideas? We're just, again, this is just a brainstorming session.
Go ahead, Barbara.
So we have a lot of issues about how we relate to the community, what our capacity is, what we owe to the public, and what they owe to us, what all of these coalition groups owe to us. And quite often, you know, we stick our necks out for other people and we do a lot of stuff to help other groups. And then when it comes time to elections, they always support the Democrats, and we just can't do that anymore. So I think that it would be a really good goal for us to really be hardcore about our membership this year. That if we're going to help a group or help something in the community, then our first goal is to promote our membership and to promote other people joining the Green Party so that there's some mutualism going on. Pass.
Anybody else on the stack?
Barb Stack.
Go ahead, Barb.
I don't know if I missed it, but when we were going through the whole issue with the nomination papers, I didn't feel that we were very well represented in the media, and I would like us to improve that. Yeah.
Greg Stack.
Go ahead.
So I think I agree with Barb that we need to be better represented in the media, and so we didn't talk about it this time, but we do need a media person. So just so people know that that position is open. Pass.
Tom Stack.
Go ahead, Tom.
So we're sort of brainstorming, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in one other group, and they actually hired a consultant to help them because they got stuck. They're not growing, and they have an outreach and they're trying to grow, etc. Well, I guess in some respects, I think we're stuck. We're not growing as fast as we'd like to either. So I think there's some sort of meta level, like organizationally, there must be some things that we could do to improve our efficiency and our effectiveness. And I don't know what those are, but, get some sort of meta level, organizational level coaching or consult, so I'm sort of stretching to figure out what it is. I know there's something that we're not doing right, and I don't know really what it is, but so get somebody who knows about organizations and can help us do better than we're doing. Pass.
Greg Stack. So that's a good suggestion, I think, Tom. And you and I have talked about this, and I've talked about it with other people, older Greens and folks like that. A lot of times what organizations do to raise funds and also build membership is to hire a professional fundraiser, and then that person has to raise their own salary out of the work that they do. So I'm not saying that we should hire a fundraiser, but that might be an option, or it might be an option for the state. The other thing that comes up with that is, in the past, I talked to a marketing professor when we were trying to get volunteers for nursing homes. And, he was willing to give free advice. So we could reach out to our universities and ask them if, we could have a marketing presentation maybe. I'd be willing to try and do that if we want to do that for one of our, or maybe more than one of our educational opportunities. Pass.
Barbara Stack.
And Patty Stack.
And Barbara, and then
Tom Stack.
Barbara, Patty, and Tom. Go ahead, Barbara.
Yeah, I like a lot of these ideas coming in from my own experience and as a media student, and in my capacity that I've learned a couple of things. Really, we don't see ourselves as a corporation, and a political party is a corporation. We are supposed to be a machine, and we don't act like one. So, in we live in this capitalist system where everything is supposed to grind through a money machine, and we just don't do that. We make our group very social and altruistic. And there are some of those things that we could do to make our, just for PR purposes, to create those membership tunnels that funnel people towards us a little bit better. Like Amazon likes to make it so incredibly easy to purchase a product that it's almost hard not to purchase it. Like, if we're thinking about ourselves in that kind of way, that makes it hard not to become a member, makes it hard not to relate to us as a party. I think that we really need to think of ourselves in those kinds of terms, just organizationally, because we are a corporation and we should think about ourselves in that respect. Pass.
Okay, I have Patty and then Tom.
And Barb Stack.
Go ahead.
So I've mentioned this before. The way to grow these days is through social media, and managing a membership organization in the US that's international, and seeing how the organization I work for has grown over the last 10 years. It is down to media, social media. And until we are able to start cranking out messages on a really frequent basis and across all platforms, these days it's even TikTok now. Facebook is for older people. Younger people don't use Facebook any longer. So I think we're really behind the times, and that is something that I don't see us growing until we can get on board with how to communicate these days. Pass.
Thanks, Patty. Tom?
So I mentioned this before, so it's kind of a repeat, that I think Peace Action's model, where they have one person that works part-time and gets paid, that if we could go in that direction, that would provide a certain stability, like making sure that web pages have the right basic information. We're always behind on several different things. Now, I don't know how we would fund that, but I think it would be a goal, like 15 to 20 hours a week. And maybe that's a state level person, but they could help out the locals too. Pass.
I'm going to just ask a quick question. Patty, could these, I know this is a lot to record, but could these suggestions be in the minutes? And then I'll
put them in there, Greg.
Good, and then I'll put them on the next agenda.
Yeah, they're in there.
Thank you.
That'll help us with the discussion. Thanks, Patty.
Yes, thank you, Patty.
Okay, Barb.
Oh, I was just thinking what Barbara said. I don't know if I'm getting it right, but I would imagine the first thing that came to my mind was that anytime someone would click on our page, a thing would pop up that would say, "Would you like to join?" Because I've gotten that from, I know one organization, when you go in to take an action on an issue, a thing will pop up and it'll ask you to donate right away. And I think you have to kind of be careful with that, but I think it can also be effective. You don't want to do it so much that people are just annoyed, but you also want to use it to help you grow and get new members.
Gentle time reminder. We're actually past time on this one. Thanks, Barb.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody else on this stack, Mike.
Can I just respond?
Yeah, can you keep it short though, Barb? We're really behind.
Yeah, I really agree with that, Barbara. I think that if we go to pretty much any website these days, there's a way to donate right away online. So it's so easy to donate and so easy to give your information out. So part of that is a way that we set up our social media and our website, which is going to take some work. And I think that would actually be really profitable for us if we were able to do that. Pass.
That's it for the stack mic, and we are over time.
Okay.
Good discussion, everybody.
I want to express general solidarity with what everybody has said. I'll again note that we need a social media coordinator, but obviously, we may have to start thinking about hiring one, at least on a temporary basis. I'll just throw that out there. Thanks everyone for the discussion. I'm glad we had it. Next up, campaign school. Barbara,
I can start us out with that. So what we've got together so far is whatever we've done the last couple of years, we've pretty much figured out, a lot of the different elements that we need to talk about in these things. And these presentations are pretty easy to give through Zoom. So that's pretty much where we are right now. But if people would like to speak about those certain issues, I know I usually speak about petitioning. Dave is great at talking about social media and certain things like that. But if there are people that we've run before, if there are people who've been involved in campaigns before, it's good to mix it up and have more speakers. So that's one element. Another element is outreach, to make sure that everybody knows that this is going on the 19th, especially people who were interested in running for office in the past. And one of the things that we really want to emphasize, because it's already midway through December when petitioning is if it's an office to be petitioned for, it's less likely that they're going to be able to make the goal. So this is a lot of information for people who are really interested in Conservation Congress in the spring, really interested in any of those local elections that don't need petitioning, and petition things for 2022 as well. So our statewide offices. So that's really where our minds are with what kind of outreach we want to do. Pass.
Gentle time reminder, if you do have a comment about this, can you just keep it quick, and we can move on because we are behind. Pass. That's the end of the stack, Mike.
Okay, everyone with the slightest bit of interest should go. I am hoping to make some time to do that. Thanks, Barbara. We'll be in touch. I'll see if there's anything I can help Dave with. Next item on the.
Can I just say one thing? Sorry.
Go ahead, Barb.
To your point, Mike, you just reminded me that even if I don't see myself as ever running, going to the school is going to help me help other people run. That's all.
Very, very true. Thank you, Barbara, for interpreting that mixed message that I was sending. Okay. We added a point on National Committee Affairs. In addition, Greg's idea was that we needed to communicate more, both about what's happening in the Global Green Party and in the National Committee. It is one of the jobs of a National Committee person to communicate with the state and local people that they represent. I'm going to defer this for now because I know I haven't. I suspect that Tom and I know I haven't pulled together a report, but next time perhaps Tom and I can do a kind of general introduction to what goes on at the National Committee, and proceed from there. But I propose that we skip that discussion for this month and do that again in January. Is there objection to that?
Greg Stack, I'd just like to say that would be great time-wise.
We have been postponing this question of the discussion list and its publics for several months. I propose that we, as far as the rest of the agenda, we're at 12:20 right now. I suggest that we make that decision today, and then go straight to accomplishments and call to action. Objection to that?
Just a clarification where it said, oh, I saw next meeting. Is that a typo? Do we want to say January 9th?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Tom Stack.
Tom, one more time on the discussion list.
Well, just as a matter of procedure, is Carrie still in the list here? Oh yeah, good. Good. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't displaying the full list in the gallery view. So no, I guess we're good. And then were you asking me, so the general idea is with more eyeballs, with more openness, processes get better, generally not worse. And, why not allow the greater public to view into our general discussion list? I think we've been pretty lucky that we haven't had that the general email discussion list has been pretty sane, and there hasn't been, unlike Facebook, it's really been pretty civilized and just largely announcements and so forth. So that's it. And yeah, I'm content we vote on it and get this behind us. But pass.
There's anybody else on the stack?
Yes, sure.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. What the proposal is right now, our Google group mailing list, where we put out the agendas and meeting announcements and other things. Folks, right now, if you go to Google Groups, people searching for the Green Party or the Greater Milwaukee Green Party or whatever in Google Groups will find that our list exists, but can join. But if you're not a member of the list, you currently cannot see the archive, basically, the kinds of things that we talk about, and what the level of traffic. Tom has been proposing that we change that so that people can see the archives even if they're not members. For the record, earlier this week, I put out a message to the National Committee mailing list to ask what other people do, and I got very few responses, and those amounted to, really? I can set up a Google group? Man, that's great.
Wow, so we're ahead on something.
We're ahead on some things, but the National Committee was not a whole lot of help in helping us to decide this. I'm inclined to try it out. Let's see if we get any more traffic. And the primary danger is that, if we have a discussion like we can specifically look to the discussion on that Howie's campaign that happened in just after the petitioning period. that could it could give our opponents a handle to attack us with. The fact that it is not an election period makes me think that this is probably the best time to try this, and we can always change our minds. So that's my opinion.
Carrie Stack.
Go ahead, Carrie, but gentle time reminder to everyone, we are getting very close to our time, so please keep it brief, and we can always, if we feel like we have to put more time into this, because I know there are other people that feel differently, we can continue to discuss it unless somebody absolutely feels that we have to call the question at this meeting. Go ahead, Carrie.
Thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to say that after what occurred at the fall gathering, perhaps others could better understand why some women may not welcome opening that door to a public list, as it could very well expose them to harassment, doxing, slander, character assassination, all the way up to and including threats of violence. This has all happened to me. It's happened to other women in the Green Party and everywhere. I mean, right now, the list seems to be used primarily for announcements. It doesn't seem to generate a lot of back and forth discussion except on certain topics. I just think that's my concern, and that's where I'm coming from, is I just don't think women need to be exposed, anyone needs to be exposed to that kind of harassment, and we'd be opening the door for that. And I have a real issue about it. Pass.
Thanks, Carrie. Mike, it really sounds like we're going to need more time on this to me. I don't know.
Can I be on the stack?
Yeah, see, Barbara wants to be on the stack too, and we're at the end of our meeting here. We have to do some stuff before we leave. We have 3 minutes. So could we please move this to the next agenda?
I propose we hear Barbara, and then I'm okay with that.
Okay, go ahead, Barbara.
I mean, I'd be fine with calling the question if this were an experiment of a few months and then reassess, because I was subject to a ton of harassment when, because my phone number is in the statewide list as the contact for the Green Party. So as soon as Democrats wanted to tell us that we shouldn't be a political party, I all of a sudden got a million troll calls. Pass.
Wow.
Okay, that's it, Mike. Can we?
Okay. Without objection, we'll defer this to January as well. We're getting a very busy January meeting. I just want you all to realize that. And we've got elections to deal with in addition to everything else. That said, time for accomplishments and recognition.
So I just wanted to thank the Wisconsin Green Party Campaign School Committee volunteers. I know Barbara and Tom are on that. Anyone else that we're missing, Barbara or Tom?
Sorry, I missed what you just said.
Oh, I was just saying, we want to thank the Wisconsin Green Party Campaign School Committee. I know that you and Barbara have been working on that somewhat. Is there anybody that?
I would just say we desperately need. I'm afraid it's just going to be Dave. So we desperately need help. Pass.
Okay. I think that's it, Mike.
Thanks everyone for everything that they do in the course of every month. And thanks for coming today. Call to action.
Actually, we're going to have to skip the call to action unless anybody has it this month, because I'm on the road for the Green New Deal and I didn't bring it with me. I just forgot to bring it with me. Sorry.
Okay, well, hell of a way to close a year, but thanks everyone. As has been noted, our next meeting is January 9th. It will continue to be remote. I have not checked to see if the libraries have opened up yet, but I suspect that they have not, and probably won't be.
They are open for certain things, but I don't know about meetings. I can let you know if I find out otherwise.
Appreciate that.
Tom, one minor thing, Mike.
Go ahead, Tom.
Can I make it such that if people do want to join from the public, that they can request a join to the mailing list, and we could reject them, but I just want to validate that that setting is in that position, because most of the mailing lists at the state level are not, they don't even allow you to join from the public or even request joining.
When I checked, yes, you could. Anyone could join.
Oh, awesome! Thank you. That's it.
Tom, can you stay on with me for 1 sec?
Sure.
Nice to see everybody.
Yes, as always. If you have some time to help our candidate get signatures and or raise money, go ahead and do that. Please do. Happy holidays to everyone, and we'll see you all in January.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We get to start new. Bye-bye.
The end of 2020.
Yes.
Yay.
Cheers.
Take care, everyone. Good to see you.
Have a safe trip.
Tom,
right. Sure.
Just a quick question about the Julian Assange. Did you have a date or any other information? I just didn't get what you said about the.
Oh yeah. I think it might be in the chat.
I think it's still in the chat. It was the 17th of January.
That sounds right. Yeah, I kind of doled it out in pieces, so I didn't put it there all at once. Yeah, shoot. Oh, it's like in that email snip. Yeah.
Oh, I see it. So
January 17th, and it's not on their Unitarian website yet, but it should show up in their calendar. And it's pretty amazing. She's talking to Ray McGovern. I don't know, probably no one knows who he is, but
I do.
She's actually, oh, cool. She's like on a first name basis with him.
Oh,
that was all I needed to ask you.
Okay. Okay, great. Then, yeah, I'll see if I can request membership in our mailing list.
Tom, one more thing, and sorry. So I checked. So where I've been putting the minutes.
Okay. Do you want to share your screen or?
Oh, I'm on my other computer.
Yeah, that's all right. I
can just tell you. I can walk you through where.
Or, yeah, I'll just write it in my notebook.
So Greater Milwaukee Green Party, GMGP-Maine, and then in there, wait a second. Go back. Hold on.
I might have been on the state website when I was looking.
So when I go into my drive, I see three folders for Greater Milwaukee Green Party. I see one that's Maine, one that's minutes, and one that's safe. So I've been putting them in minutes one.
GMGP-Maine you want to go to.
But I'm also seeing a separate folder that's -minutes, just its own.
No, it should be below GMGP-Maine. Now maybe that's the thing. It's possible that because Google confuses everything, it might be that you're in the right place. It's just.
Well, when I just go into the main folder, it's not there. It's like it's outside of it somehow. I don't understand it.
I'm gonna go look for where I think it should go. GMGP Maine.
Let me see if I can go there and share my screen.
Well,
I'll go on my.
Could could I share my screen and show you where I think it should go?
Well, it might be better if you see what
Okay.
I'm talking about.
Right. Okay, fair enough.
I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to share my screen. Share screen. Share. Okay, can you see?
Yeah. Okay.
So
So
this is where I'm in my. Oh, sorry. Okay, so this is what I see.
right. All right. So yeah, I would go into GP main. And then go to co-chairs.
But don't you think if people are looking for it, that's kind of counting?
Well, wait. It's a staging thing. First step is to approve them, right? So they should go in. At least that's, I mean, yeah, we can put them somewhere else, but, and it seems like it's something the co-chairs are running,
Okay.
you know.
All right, so that's,
well, now the question is that GMGP main, I don't know who owns that. I don't know where that is. Why don't you open up GMGP-minutes?
That's just where I've been putting them.
Yeah, now those are probably just yours, right? So if you're gone, I guess what yeah, my drive, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so we can't, what I like about the drive is the GP-main is you can discover things by perusing and looking around, you know, just like opening a folder, then opening another folder. Whereas something like this, if I don't have that explicit link to your folder, I'm just lost. I have to go back to the email and look it up. So
I think going into the main, I agree. I can put them in the co-chairs folder, but then
right.
I feel like if
then they go to public. Then when they get published, they go to the public, which PUB search.
Hold on.
Yeah, public.
Okay.
And then below there is minutes.
So they're not getting moved over there. So
No, because it's just like everything else in our, you know what I mean? It's like if I'm the only one that's doing this, then it's not going to get done. That's why we need, you know, that's why it's good to have meetings like this. But the idea there is that, yeah, the meetings, don't we agree that the meetings, when they are done, they should be public, right?
Yeah, and so what would, to my mind, would work well is if I put them where you asked in the minutes to approve,
right.
But then they need to remember to move them.
Well, and yeah, there's one right there now we could move right now, right? It's been approved and we can just move it.
I can move all of those. But I don't know. No,
I see. Yeah, you can move all of those that were approved into the public minutes.
So
right?
You're the owner on this.
I think you can. That's interesting. I wonder. I don't know. You could try moving it, and if you can't move it, then yeah, I have to move it. Okay, you're gonna walk your way, hit the arrow there. You gotta kind of slowly walk your way over there, and then up one more, yeah.
Okay.
You would hope that would tell you that you can't move it before you go through all this.
So minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
So move there.
Yeah.
this item.
Cool. It looks like it's gonna work. I like it. Okay.
All right, we did it.
Awesome. Okay. Now what's that one? Move approved to, I don't know what that is. That an empty file? Oh, that looks just like, it just looks like a note. In other words, I'm trying to tell you what to do. So you can just close that one.
Yeah.
I think you just, yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
All right. Well, okay. So that's what I'll do. And then that'll be
That, then that folder, we can't see that folder because that's just, now what I wish I could do is I could just tell you who owns that folder, but, oh, so does it say, you know, like if I want to know that GMGP-main, like who the hell owns that folder and where is it, did it come from? And I don't quite know.
Details. Let's see if we can see that.
Okay.
Details. Nothing.
Oh wait, no, the it says who the owner is.
Oh,
it says GP shared drive. Original folder. Oh, and it does say original folder. Makes me wonder if there is a folder called GMGP minutes, in which case that would be confusing.
Well, I don't know where this sits. It just looks like it's just its own separate.
Oh, wait a minute. Click on that one and do the details.
I must have created it.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's you own it. Yeah, so I don't think anyone else knows about that folder. Yeah, okay. Unless you give them the link, and then those links are like, I can't memorize those links.
Well, it'll just be easier for me to just follow what you've set up, and then they can deal with it. It's up, then I'm out of it, and it's up to them to, because otherwise it's confusing because they do make revisions to the minutes after I share them. So.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how little things like this, they do take a while.
So I actually don't know now. I don't know where the minutes are. Right?
You don't know where the actual
well, from past meetings, like where they.
Yeah, go to that public minutes folder.
There's only a couple in there, I think.
Let's go look.
So
well, yeah, well, look at 2019. We might have done better.
So the ones.
Yeah, no, this actually is just typical. I just remember thinking, well, you know, I mean, what I was doing was I was going through all the email, and like we could probably get the minutes. We could probably get them all up there because they're all in the general discussion email, or a lot. What the practice in the past was to put them into an email, and then I would pull them out of the email and then put them online. But you know, it's just another thankless job, another thing that.
Well, really, it's a matter of getting the co-chairs trained to they have to do it. That's just, they edit it. When they're finished editing it, they need to just simply put it in. It's not be a huge deal.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm going to be quiet, and I agree with you.
Well, so what I'll do is I'll
start. Thank you for your patience, because I know sometimes I come across the wrong way, but I learned from, I know I learned from you too. You know, the Zoom stuff you're doing is cool, and I tried to do a scheduled meeting. Actually, this is still being recorded, so we should both be on our best behavior.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, well, so yeah, we'll have to remember, oh, that's my dog. Anyway, yeah, thanks, Tom. So we should remember to turn off the recording at the end of the meeting.
Well,
wait.
We can turn off the recording now. Hold on. Alt P. And then there's another layer. We're still streaming. Yeah, let me see if I can turn off the streaming. Goodbye, everybody.